this the trials of Mount Warp. So, you find yourself looking on Mount Warp, the mountain, ever since you were, maybe 13. You've had this urge to climb this mountain. You found a book serendipitously in the back of Barnes & Noble, of all places, and it shook you to your very core when you saw this image, and you didn't know why. And so you're now 29, and you've saved up to take the trip to Made Up a Stand, and you're gonna. So you've gotten to your mountain. You're gonna climb it. You're Sherpa-less. All you have is a backpack and a walking staff, and you're intent on climbing this mountain. So, okay. Okay, so you approach the mountain. You climb over rocks and gravel, and you reach a door, a gate. You're mystified. You didn't know that there was any kind of culture that had lived in the area, and you don't know, where this could have come from. In fact, on the gate, you see, different faces that you can't place. Here are a few. You guys take a little bit. You guys want to show the people behind you, perhaps, what we're looking at. So these line the archway here, and you're mystified. So at this point, I want to ask you if your goal is to climb this mountain, and yet at the base of the mountain, or at least midway up, you have this portal. You're conflicted because this wasn't in your dreams. This wasn't in the soft cover. Glossy page book that you found when you were a lad. So do you want to go in or do you want to climb the mountain?
Go in.
Go in.
Go in. Okay, good answer. We'll skip this page. Perhaps we'll come back. There was a page there. You may never see it. So you quickly orient yourself and begin walking. This is a mental map that you sort of make as you climb steps through long corridors. It's kind of a labyrinthine thing. You soon realize, and a lot of cardio, many steps. So you're getting a lot of work. Your walking staff is getting a lot of play here. You're really leaning on it. You're winded. There's torches, somehow improbably lit, and then you enter a large area, and there's a wolf with a really large brain. So you don't really know why that's there. So the wolf says to you, "Why do you go here, traveler?" In that voice. But his mouth doesn't move. It's you quickly assume a kind of psychic human connection. It says, "Why do you go here?" It's still his voice, weirdly enough, even though he's speaking in psychic wolf language. It still sounds like that. So it says, "Why do you go here?" You say, "I don't even know. I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't, know why I'm here. I've just called." And he's like, "Well, it's time that you face your destiny." So you're terrified. Do you run? Do you try to fight the wolf? Or do you just continue to try to maybe bide time and talk with him, maybe reason with him? The choice is yours.
Reason with
The wolf.
Reason with the wolf. He says, "Don't reason with me! I'm not to be reasoned with. My reason powers are far exceeding yours, human." And so he kind of puts you in this stasis moment here. He's clearly got some kind of telekinetic powers, and you're suspended in the air. He puts you down though, and he says, "Look, follow me. We're going to the chamber of your destiny." So you walk. It's not that far. You're relieved about that because you're already winded. The chamber of your destiny is here. So you see a kind of a large crystalline structure suspended on a pedestal. What's that? Good question. It's historically an incredibly fertile valley that this mountain sprang up in. So perhaps it's something more. At any rate, you get close to it, and you feel a kind of alarming energy coming from it. There's a protoplasmic kind of blob inside this crystalline structure. Since you've, at the expense of any kind of sexual life, you've saved up all this cash, so you don't actually recognize any connotations. There's absolutely nothing, that it reminds you of. But it does remind you of your future, your past, something's in there. There's a kind of, stormy, deep and alarming accruance of souls or personalities, but they all feel shockingly familiar. Are you guys creeped out? Do you want to maybe back away, or do you want to say to it something?
Say something to it.
Okay. What do you guys have any questions about it?
Okay. Do with the stick.
Is that a mouth? There is a mouth there, and it says yes, it is a mouth. It says, and I've got you now. So it grabs you, and there's shards of crystalline glass all over. It says, "You will be my replacement." And so it puts you here in another crystal feature. That's the sound of you being put in a crystal. So it places you there and says, "Now I have found my replacement, and I can be free." And a giant fireball, a kind of plasmic, like a plasmic explosion happens. And you're trapped in this diamond crystal structure, and it is gone. It is gone. And you say to the wolf, "Wolf, help me, wolf." And Brain Wolf here says, "I cannot help you. What I must do now is make sure that the cycle repeats itself." And you say, "What do you mean?" He says, "Oh, you'll see." And so with his telekinetic, mind-bending, temporal plasticity powers, he sends you to what you over the millennia realize is the past. Hundreds of years progress as you grow more and more corpulent and protoplasmic and doughy and mutated and all kinds of words that imply a kind of breaking down of the normal corporeal boundaries that we hold dear. You become a kind of monster in a diamond, and you realize that you are in fact the monster in the diamond. History has repeated itself. And you see yourself here. There you are. There you are. You're one and the same. Somehow you've gone through a time loop and you're looking at yourself. But you realize now that you're here, you're going to be warping out. You tell yourself, "Come closer." You say, "I've got you. You'll be my replacement." You put yourself in the crystal and you warp your butt out of there. What, if you want to call it a butt. I don't know that it has a butt. And so, it works out for you. You wind up on a kind of a tropical island. You've warped to basically paradise, but something still nags at your doughy craw. Something's still sticking with you. And you realize you have to go back to make sure that this loop doesn't enact itself forever. So, you say, so we'll go back to you. You say to your Brain Wolf companion, if you want to call him that, you say, "Brain Wolf, why are you doing this to me? This is you as in the human form. Why are you doing this to me?" And so the Brain Wolf says, "It is just the circles of time, and that is all it is. I know more than you. I couldn't hope to explain it to you. It's like explaining, quantum indeterminacy to someone who isn't a physicist. It just doesn't work. It's in the math or whatever." So what do you say to Brain Wolf? Do you try to let's see, do you try to break out of your crystal structure, or do you try to trick him with his own pride?
Trick him with his own pride.
Okay. You say, hey, Brainwolf. Stupid head says, what? He says, wait, what the hell? What? I'm not a stupid head, what? And so he totally falls for it. And so this, you could suddenly see his like control of, the overriding temporal laws that govern us all just collapse into itself in a kind of, black hole nucleus singularity. And you realize this is your chance. So you shatter out of the crystal, and you run away from the corridor, through the corridor, away from the brain wolf while he's preoccupied. You leave the mountain as fast as you can, just so that we leave no stone unturned here. You kind of get attacked by a bird. You actually get away. You jump out, and the bird didn't like the taste of you or something. And you find yourself back at the foot, having not really accomplished anything, and yet